Of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, and police are looking for a possible second suspect, officials say. First, it was a second gunman to just shut down UT and say, don't leave your homes, don't be down there. They're down there trying to tell people they can't even walk on the street. And this shooting happened 4 hours ago, 4+ hours ago, right now. And so they've got much of UT shut down. Armored vehicles are down there, you name it. And just as a matter of course, they're just saying they think there could be a second gunman. Now it's a second suspect. And so we'll definitely learn more as this unfolds. But thank God more people weren't hurt. The only person hurt reportedly was the alleged shooter. And I take you now to Matt Ryan and Jason Douglas, who are on the street reporting for Infowars.com to give us a in-person view of what's going on down there at the University of Texas at Austin. Matt Ryan, what's happening?
Oh, right now there's a lot of confusion down here. Police still reportedly trying to sort out what happened. The gun is apparently been identified as an AK-47, which is the standard assault rifle. We currently have helicopters flying overhead. I've seen SWAT teams going back and forth with hounds, apparently trying to sniff out somebody, if anybody. They're trying to evacuate the entire area. There's been sirens going off constantly with warnings from the police to evacuate immediately. And beyond that, they're just waiting to determine if there even is a second shooter. There's a lot of confusion regarding
Did the police, Matt Ryan, try to tell you to leave?
Not at this time. We showed up. We asked for the press staging area, and they were nice enough to allow us the permission to report on the story.
They were nice enough to allow you? Because you have a First Amendment right. I mean, you couldn't be in the library right now, but in the past they would just put up crime scene tape, 30 feet in front of it, and that was basically the common law upheld in court. But now they've reportedly pushed people back over a mile, correct?
Correct, on either side, actually. I'm hearing a lot of chitter-chatter between different reporters that they're having trouble setting up staging areas. The boundaries, the net's pretty far as the boundaries for press. And if you're a regular citizen, not identifying yourself as the press is even further.
Well, I just want to say, I mean, we're glad they're not violating your First Amendment, but I wouldn't say they're really allowing you to do this. My issue is we know the Russians have been caught staging shootings at schools as a pretext to crack down. Columbine, very suspicious. A lot of evidence that was a staged event, according to witnesses and a lot of intel. And over 120 propane bombs were brought in that morning beforehand, CBS News reported, but all of that got shut down. The school was more than half empty that day because word had been given that the shooting was going to happen. Harris and Kleinbold had made a school-sponsored video about a mass shooting at the school, and I find it very suspicious that they've locked everything down, and this could have been part of a drill. We don't know, and we know they have had many unannounced drills at private businesses, public schools, secondary schools, college, high school. So I find this new trend of pushing people back, the news is reporting over a mile, will really allow them to cover up what's happening. We see the news reports of armored vehicles down there. Technically, do you know exactly how far they've pushed people back for this show of force circus?
Again, with all the confusion, I know a lot of reporters are having trouble actually getting word to their stations of exactly where the staging grounds are set up. They either keep moving them or keep pushing them back. But one thing I did find interesting is this all started around 8:28 a.m. was the first report of a shooter in the library. Within a half hour, the report was that the shooter had shot themselves. There might be a second shooter, and it's because of that supposed second shooter that everything's been locked down for so long. Helicopters are just constantly circling overhead, looking for a shooter that is possibly long gone by now.
Well, I mean, let's remember that with Charles Whitman in 1966, that he killed a lot of people and then himself was taken out by Austin police officers, that UT really was one of the first places in modern history where we've seen these type of mass shootings take place. So this is a real sore spot, a painful spot for UT alumni, UT students, and Austinites. Stay there, Matt Ryan. I want to get more from you on the scene of this shooter who fired his weapon reportedly and then took his own life. Find it very unusual that no one else was wounded. This thing stinks to high heaven. The way they've got this locked down, it's very suspicious.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
On the average, Americans work between 45 to 50 years, hoping to build up enough wealth to retire and live out their golden years. Unfortunately, with taxation, the rising cost of food, energy, housing, and medical, many retirees are forced to live below the poverty line. Is this a flaw of free enterprise, or is our monetary unit we call the Federal Reserve Note forcing us into perpetual debt, ensuring inflation and higher taxes? These questions and more can be answered by reading G. Edward Griffin's book, The Creature from Jekyll Island. Congressman Ron Paul states it's what every American needs to know about central bank power. A gripping adventure into the secret world of international banking cartel. Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I will give a silver dollar from the early 1900s to anyone who purchases this book. Call 1-800-686-2237 and order a copy today. It's critical that the public be made aware of the system. Call and order your copy today at 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, 2 wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty films.
Is your computer running slowly? Thinking about buying a new one? Don't waste your money. Your computer could be infected with spyware, malware, viruses, registry errors, spam, and pop-ups. You don't need to buy a new computer. Just go to doublemyspeed.com and find out what's slowing your computer down.
Double My Speed totally cleaned up my system and increased my speed.
Doublemyspeed.com increased the speed of my computer from the very first day.
My computer was on its last leg. Now it's like new again.
Get your free diagnosis at doublemyspeed.com and keep your computer running fast. Your free diagnosis at doublemyspeed.com is easy and fast.
It's the best you could ask for. Outstanding, and my computer is running faster than ever.
Find out what is slowing down your computer with a free diagnosis at doublemyspeed.com. Don't waste your time with your slow computer. Get your free diagnosis now at doublemyspeed.com. That's doublemyspeed.com.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we take you back live to the University of Texas on the edge of the main campus where they have locked things down. And if you go back, the reason I'm suspicious about this and the way they lock these scenes down now and claim there's another shooter and then, well, a person of interest is we have so many cases where they'll get some hopped up mental patient in a public school, in a university, and then shoot a few people. They'll have a shooter dressed similar to the nutcase. Then they'll kill the nutcase and use that as a pretext to crack down on the Second Amendment. Now, this may just be some type of mentally ill lunatic or some enviro-Nazi, eco-fascist like we saw a few weeks ago at the Discovery Channel Center who thinks there's too many humans. So now I guess we're down one less moron when the SWAT team took him out. So that could be the case as well. But Matt Ryan, any other observations you've made down there on the scene before we talk to Jason Douglas, who's down there with you?
Well, one thing we just noticed, looking overhead, seeing the helicopters actually flying lower and lower with each pass, they don't have any markings of police helicopters. They actually look quite military. And one thing Douglas will tell you, I can hand it over to him, is we actually are seeing have seen some military on the scene.
Well, that's a huge development. Are you getting videotape of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Does it look like a National Guard, Army, or does it look like MP uniforms?
One thing we've seen, full fatigue along with berets, so it may just be a standard Army. We are seeing one police helicopter flying overhead, but also a lot of unmarked black helicopters. We're going to have to look at our footage to see exactly.
Now, black helicopters don't exist, Matt Ryan.
They don't. Well, there's two of them flying overhead right now.
Of course, they now admit they have a fleet of thousands of them. It blew me away last night. I'm going to talk about it later. We monitor Glenn Beck because we're making a documentary about him in part. And it was like watching my show. It was Obama has 500 naked body mobile trucks that look through your walls. It's total tyranny. They've got an assassination list of U.S. citizens. We're going into Nazi Germany. Everything we covered 2 weeks ago, word for word. But he kept saying Obama. Obama is continuing everything Bush did and everything Clinton did because it's the shadow government, the boys in those black helicopters, the men in black that run this country, not the ceremonial Congress. Very interesting. Continue to try to get video and get back as soon as you can, and we'll just grab raw clips out of the footage of the military. This is big breaking news, but if they are wearing black berets, that is the standard Army issue. Hand it over to Jason Douglas. Matt, right. Good job. Matt Ryan reporting for Infowars.com. Jason Douglas, what are you seeing down there?
Well, when we first arrived on the scene, they had cordoned off a pretty close to the campus an area, so we pulled immediately in to ask where the press staging ground was. When we pulled in, that's when I saw the gentleman dressed in fatigues with a beret on. He was actually driving by as I was asking the state trooper where we should set up. So I didn't get to get footage of him directly and find out what unit he was with or, why he's here. He was driving away in a car.
Oh, but I mean, to be clear, you've only seen one guy then, or because Matt Ryan's saying he got footage of it.
Right, we split up. And what happened was Matt Ryan was staying at the press staging ground because he has a tripod, and he said that he saw some men in green jumpsuits that looked military. They could have been SWAT, but most likely, trained military in some sort of.
Not if they were wearing black berets. That's U.S. Army standard issue for everybody.
The ones that I saw on the ground were wearing helmets.
The ones in the jumpsuits were wearing helmets and basically a gray jumpsuit.
No, that's Austin SWAT team.
Okay, green jumpsuit.
No, it looks like a Border Patrol uniform.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and the one that I saw was driving away in a car. So we were in two separate locations when this went down.
Okay, I want to clarify that and then come back to you, Douglas, after the break briefly. And then we'll wrap up this report from now, but get you to pop back in later when you get back to studio, or unless you guys think you should stay down there, we'll come back to you in the middle of the next hour after I cover news and take calls. But briefly, hand the phone back to Matt Ryan because you guys split up. I want to get specifically what type of military-type personnel he saw.
Just a minute.
All right.
Matt, to be specific, he's saying he saw somebody in a black beret and camouflage in a car. What specifically did you see military-wise? Describe it as best you can.
Well, one thing I did see were the individuals traveling in groups with dogs, green jumpsuits, crew cuts, some of them wearing black helmets. They were traveling in a pretty large group. Again, I couldn't determine if they were SWAT. They looked military, but they may have in fact been SWAT. I was referring mostly to the sighting that Douglas had earlier.
Okay, the helicopters though.
Definitely black unmarked helicopters.
Mm-hmm. They've got gray ones too in Central Texas that we know are command helicopters. I'm probably going to pull you guys in here soon. Or I may have one of you stay there, one of you bring the tapes you've got back, because I want to see these helicopters before the show ends today, and be able to show viewers what's happening with that. Stay there, Matt and Ryan. We'll come right back to you.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.